At number 10, Justin Bieber. You never know where you're going to meet your next crush. A lot of the time we come across people online who we think are cute and want to shoot our shot. Well, this happened with Justin Bieber in kind of a weird way. It started with nutrition and fitness coach Jessica Gober and her suggestion that the gym she worked for start posting on their Instagram more to get some more traction to their business. Well, Jessie's suggestion worked very well, but instead of attracting business, she attracted love. The gym posted a boomerang of Jessie holding an energy drink, and somehow this post was circulated around enough that it caught the attention of Justin Bieber. Since Jessica wasn't tagged in the post, Justin actually ended up DMing the gym's account asking who the girl in the post was. Jessica found out about this and posted screenshots of the message to her Twitter. Some people came for her saying that she could have become something special to Justin, but she clapped back by posting pictures of her boyfriend saying, quote, "I've got everything I need right here." Unfortunately, Justin didn't get what he was hoping for, but at least he tried. At number 9, Nikita Dragun. Even though we are still caught in the midst of a global pandemic, it is still advised for people to wear masks, social distance, and some people still break these rules. This is the case with beauty YouTuber Nikita Dragun, as she was caught and exposed for going maskless in an elevator while she was in Miami for a New Year's Eve party last year. The influencer was exposed on TikTok, where fans posted a video of their encounter with her. The fans asked for a photo with her before she was caught, saying that people would get mad at her for not wearing a mask. Well, they did, and she was dragged for it. Lately, so many celebrities have been getting dragged for not being good role models for their fans during this time, and Nikita was one of them. So not only did she get exposed for attending a party during a pandemic, but also for not wearing a mask. This all went down in Florida, and though there are no rules in place, it is still advised to wear your mask for your safety and for the protection of others. Before we carry on talking about celebrities who have been exposed by their own fans, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, David Dobrik. YouTuber and former Viner David Dobrik got caught in a massive scandal on the platform that pretty much destroyed his career last year. He was once considered by many as one of YouTube's clean YouTubers, someone who doesn't really have much drama on the platform, but last year all of that changed. He was really popular on the platform, having gained over 9 million subscribers, and he's had some success in showbiz as well, as he's been cast as a judge and host on a few game shows as well. However, last year David's popularity fell and his praise turned into scrutiny as people started to come forward with allegations against David. Former members of David's YouTube friend group called the Vlog Squad came forward, calling David out for bullying and creating a toxic environment, as well as orchestrating pranks that resulted in one friend getting hurt, and a former fan came forward naming a Vlog Squad member as the person who hurt them while they were under the influence, and also exposed David for filming that part of what happened. Last year he lost a lot of sponsors as well as a company that he recently started.
In our 7th spot, we have Jerry Seinfeld. What's up with that? I swear, this has to be one of the most embarrassing and awkward celebrity moments maybe of all time. So back in 2017, Jerry Seinfeld was being interviewed on the red carpet for a Night of Laughter and Song event. During the interview, superfan Kesha comes up to Jerry, introduces herself quickly, and then says, "Can I give you a hug?" In which he shuts her down. But Kesha is really persistent. She goes, "Please, just a little one," each time shutting her down. She then walks away heartbroken. I mean, this dude was the star of the Bee Movie. I'd want a hug too. I'm just kidding. I know, Seinfeld. Anyway, after she walks away, Jerry and the interviewer awkwardly laugh. I just cringed so much watching it. I mean, he wasn't necessarily rude about it, but just the whole encounter was really uncomfortable.
At number 6, James Franco. Back in 2014, actor James Franco tried sliding into a fan's DMs only to find out that she was actually 17 years old. When their DM conversation was leaked, people honestly thought it was fake, but it turns out that it was 100% real, and James even owned up to his actions. All of this happened when James met a girl visiting New York City as an early 18th birthday present. James met her at an autograph signing outside one of his Broadway performances. The two took pictures together and she tagged him, which obviously led him to finding her Instagram and DMing her. The two talked for a bit, and the fan even asked to see his ID to make sure that it was really him. After their conversation continued, James asked for her number, her age and relationship status, and whether or not he should have booked a hotel room for the both of them. Nothing ever ended up happening between them, but the fan ended up exposing their conversation online, and James faced mild backlash after he admitted to his mistakes, but after he admitted to his mistakes, he walked away from the situation still pretty much intact.
In number 5, Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz has built up a nasty reputation of being notoriously reluctant to sign autographs, and she has said that she is against interacting with her fans at all. During the premiere of the movie Sex Tape in 2014, witnesses in attendance told Radar Online that the actress could not have been less interested in the fans. The weird thing was that the premiere was meant for the fans. It's not like these people followed her into a restaurant. She was scheduled to appear. Fans showed up early, waited outside for a glimpse, and then right when she was spotted by the fans, she outright refused autographs and told them, "If I did it for you, I'd have to do it for everyone." The fan that reported this info said, "Cameron was as unfriendly as can be, and it was really disappointing. There were literally only 4 or 5 fans waiting and asking for them when they left. It was not a huge crowd and would have taken them less time to sign an autograph or take a picture rather than giving a lecture about not doing it." Very true.
At number 4, Drake. Drake doesn't seem to have the best luck when it comes to the ladies. He's been rejected by Nicki Minaj on multiple occasions, he briefly dated Rihanna, but that didn't work out, and he's been on the losing side of love for a while. Drake even tried DMing Mia Khalifa back in 2015, and that didn't really take off either, and she thought it was kind of cringy actually. Mia dished about what went down in the DMs while being interviewed by CBS Miami 560, and during the interview she was asked if any famous people had ever tried sliding into her DMs, and though she didn't give an actual name, she did say that the person's name rhymes with rake. Not that subtle. She later said that he sent her a half-naked picture and knew that, quote, his intentions were clear. I'm assuming that they never actually spoke to each other until this point, so I'm really wondering what compelled him to drop this picture on her. I'm not the most knowledgeable on this kind of topic simply because no one's out here sliding in my DMs, but for those who are familiar with unsolicited pic DMs, please tell me why this is a thing. Like, shouldn't you have just a little bit of conversation before this? Let me know.
In our third spot today, we have Drake Bell. Earlier this year, it was revealed that Drake Bell groomed and took advantage of one of his young fans. The fan said that the two met when she was 12 and she was his biggest fan. The two would talk casually and she claims he would give her advice, and they maintained a friendship. When she turned 15, Drake's intentions changed and he started calling her hot. The two would exchange inappropriate messages and pictures. In 2017, they met up and she pleasured him. She continued on saying that he made her feel so loved so that he could manipulate her. Later, she realized that what they were doing was wrong, but she was scared to leave him. She felt trapped. As a result of this girl's statement, Drake was exposed for and his inappropriate behavior. He was sentenced to 2 years of probation and 200 hours of community service after pleading guilty.
At number 2, Coldplay. Last year, the music group Coldplay was exposed and caught under fire after Lady Gaga fans alleged that the band stole their new album concept from their mother Monster. This comes after Coldplay announced their new era of music and the release of their song Higher Power. Their new theme is very neon, featuring the colors blue, pink, and purple, and they're seemingly calling it Chaotica. This sounds cool, but not very creative, as Lady Gaga fans were quick to point out the similarities between Chaotica and Gaga's 2020 album Chromatica. This album featured a very similar neon color palette and a pretty similar name. Fans have said that these artists' album aesthetics are too similar to be a coincidence. Both Chaotica and Chromatica are essentially the artists' respective names for their own made-up planets that their albums are based on, so these similarities have fans feeling a little strange. What do you guys think? Is it a ripoff or a coincidence? And finally, at number 1, James Charles. James has been finding himself in a number of scandals over the past few years, seemingly facing new drama every few months. Though in the past there's been petty drama like that between James, Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson, and Tati Westbrook, recently James's number 1 scandals have been about his inappropriate contact with fans, specifically those under the age of 18. Recently, James has been hit with lots of backlash after it was discovered that he solicited private photos from fans who turned out to be under the age of 18. James was exposed by a fan on social media where they showed off their messages and photos sent to each other over the period of time that they had been talking. This happened in late February last year, but a similar event happened just a few weeks prior to this incident, after another young man came forward exposing James and recounting how he and James had been having explicit conversations on Snapchat. These allegations are similar to others that he's faced in the past, so people are really starting to get angry with James, and the fact that he seems to walk away from these scandals all the time.
In at number 10, Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer is definitely the actor that has been exposed the most in 2021. And at this point, I think we can assume his career is probably over because of what has come out. Hammer shot to fame in his roles in Call Me By Your Name and The Social Network. But recently, multiple women have come forward with disturbing allegations against Hammer, with many expressing that he had scary fetishes and many times he would take things too far for the women while he was intimate with them. There were even allegations surfacing that he might be a cam at one point. But the story got even darker last week when a woman came forward in a video press conference expressing that he forced himself on her for over 4 hours. Apparently during the incident, he slammed her head into a wall and whipped her feet with a crop too, with her stating that she did not consent to these actions. As a result of the first string of allegations, Army has stepped away from an upcoming film with Jennifer Lopez called Shotgun Wedding. As well, any project that he was due to be a part of has cut him. And with the seriousness of these allegations, he could very well be getting jail time for his actions. And at number 9, Anthony Mackie. Actor Anthony Mackie was recently exposed after an old clip of an interview he did with Wendy Williams resurfaced. The Marvel actor, known for his role as the Falcon in the MCU, faced backlash because many found the comments to be sexist, saying at one point in the interview that a woman's role was to, quote, make daddy a sandwich. And yes, he actually said the word daddy multiple times, which only made things worse. During the interview, Anthony and Wendy were having a conversation about gender roles in a relationship, and Anthony's responses were all very traditional. He even got into somewhat of an argument with Wendy, where he defended the mentality that both partners need to serve each other in some way, with him adding, quote, if I'm outside cutting that grass, bring daddy some lemonade. It's hot outside and I'm cutting all that grass. A lot of fans were taken aback by the actor's comments, calling them sexist and misogynistic, after he had a minor social media cancellation, but it didn't last long. And at number 8, Kate Hudson. Kate Hudson is getting tons of backlash after she starred in a controversial movie. The movie was created and directed by the singer Sia and is called Music. The film is about an autistic girl named Music, whom Hudson plays her older sister, and the film is getting backlash for being ableist. People specifically have taken issue with specific actions portrayed by Hudson in the film. The reaction against Hudson got even worse after it was announced that she was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for her performance. The host of the 2021 Golden Globes even made a comment against Hudson in their monologue, saying that Hudson's involvement in the film was the, quote, most offensive casting since Kate Hudson was a Weight Watchers spokesperson. Despite the backlash, Hudson still appeared on the telecast, saying that she loved making the movie, saying, quote, as an actress and a singer and dancer, it's everything you'd want to experience. And at number 7, Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler was just exposed in the best way possible, proving that he's just as humble and down to earth in real life as we'd all hope. This was revealed in a TikTok. A 17-year-old Long Island hostess, Diana Rodas, posted a TikTok with a clown face and the writing, quote, not realizing it's Adam Sandler and telling him it's a 30-minute wait, and him of course leaving because he's not gonna wait 30 minutes for IHOP. She then showed a video of Adam Sandler in casual clothes with a mask on, along with one of his daughters. And people were shocked to see that after he was told about the wait, he decided to simply just leave and didn't try to use his fame to get a table. The TikTok actually went so viral that Sandler actually responded to it on Twitter, writing, quote, for the record, I only left IHOP because the nice woman told me that all-you-can-eat deal didn't apply to the milkshakes. The hostess later told the Post that she only knew it was Adam Sandler when some other customers said so. And this is truly just the best type of exposing. Also, make sure to give the video a like if you're liking it so far. And at number 6, Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake's past actions were exposed after the recent documentary framing Britney Spears was released. The documentary centered around Britney's terrible treatment in the media and how the people in her life contributed to this, aka Justin. After the documentary came out, Britney's fans started to realize just how horrible Justin had treated her. Some of the clips included him speaking about their intimate relationship on late-night talk shows when that was something that Britney was keeping private, as well as the fact that he used a Britney look-alike in the Cry Me a River music video after their breakup, which made everyone think that Britney had cheated. But Timberlake was not only exposed for treating Britney badly, but his handling of the infamous Janet Jackson Super Bowl scandal was also questioned, because Jackson's career was essentially ruined after that, but Timberlake got away scot-free. In response to all the backlash, he posted a lengthy apology to Instagram. However, many felt the apology was too little too late and was only made because he was called out, not because he actually meant it. Halfway at number 5, Amber Heard. As you all know, Amber Heard has been in a messy divorce battle with her ex, Johnny Depp, for basically years now. Many online believe that she is a liar, and more evidence keeps mounting that she probably is. Some police body camera footage from a pivotal night in their divorce battle was just released, showing their apartment in 2016. The footage shows a tidy apartment, which is a stark contrast to what Amber claimed. And Depp and his lawyers believe this proves that Amber lied when she said Depp trashed their apartment that night, and that's why their relationship ended. Heard has given evidence in multiple legal cases, saying that Depp hurled a phone at her face and trashed their penthouse kitchen during the May 2016 fight. But now it looks like there's proof that that was not the case. And with what has come out over and over and over again, like, how do people still believe her? I just can't even understand it at this point. In at number 4, Chris Harrison. Chris Harrison is the legendary host of the Bachelor franchise, but he was caught up in a major scandal after contestant Rachel Kirkconnell was exposed for racially insensitive actions. In the midst of this, Harrison was getting interviewed by a former bachelorette and black woman Rachel Lindsay, and Harrison was seen as aggressive and rude when talking about the issues. Harrison's take on the photos ended up making the whole scandal a lot worse. One of Harrison's controversial statements included, quote, "I've heard a lot of, I think she should, I think he should. Who the hell are you? Who are you to demand that?" People found his comments to be insensitive, and many said he was too quick to defend a contestant accused of racist actions. Chris ended up apologizing, but he was later cut from the franchise. And at number 3, Mila Kunis. Mila Kunis just revealed on an episode of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert that she almost convinced her husband, Ashton Kutcher, out of investing in Uber, now the biggest ride-sharing platform ever. Mila Kunis revealed that she told her husband Ashton Kutcher that investing in Uber was, quote, the worst idea ever. When talking about her husband's investment ideas, Mila says that he always runs things by her because she's a big consumer and because the money is usually taken out of their joint account. When the subject of Uber came up, she said, quote, early into our dating, 2 things came up. He was like, hey, there's this kind of company. It's kind of like a ride share. It's like a cab company, but anyone can drive the cab. She apparently told Ashton that it was the worst idea ever, and she wouldn't get around the fact that it would be driven by a stranger. Thankfully, he was able to convince her to invest, and he's made a lot of money on the investment since. In at number 2, Maddie Ziegler. Maddie Ziegler is another actor who was a part of Sia's film Music that is now facing backlash. Ziegler has been a backup dancer for Sia for the last few years, so she was Sia's first choice to cast in the movie. However, Maddie got tons of backlash after agreeing to participate. In Music, Ziegler plays a nonverbal autistic teenager who comes under the care of her half-sister played by Kate Hudson after the death of their grandmother. When the trailer was released, it got immediate backlash from autism advocates, specifically for the fact that the lead role was not played by an autistic actor. Petitions sprung up on change.org to stop the release of the film, saying the film contributes to harmful stereotypes. Ziegler has not responded to the backlash, and it seems that she's doing everything possible to distance herself from the project. And finally, at number 1, JoJo Siwa. JoJo Siwa is a 17-year-old superstar that has made an entire brand around being kid-friendly and wholesome. So it was a shock to many when it was exposed that the questions in a board game she released were not so wholesome. The game, called JoJo's Juice, was released by Nickelodeon and manufactured by Spin Master in 2018. Questions in the Truth or Dare component of the game were exposed on TikTok, with some questions in the game saying things like, have you ever gone outside without underwear? And have you ever walked in on someone naked or had someone walk in on you? As well as questions asking most likely to date, if they'd ever stolen or been arrested, if they could twerk, and if they'd ever kissed a boy. According to Insider, Nickelodeon and Spin Master released a joint statement agreeing to stop production of the game. JoJo responded that she was not aware of the questions but was happy the game was being pulled.
In at number 10, Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase is without a doubt a legendary comedic actor, but all of those pratfalls that he did in his youth must have really turned him into a grumpy old man. He has certainly earned himself perhaps the worst reputation in Hollywood from being just extremely difficult to work with. When it works, but most of the time he is a huge pain in the you-know-what. When actor and comedian Rob Huebel met Chevy at the Upright Citizens Brigade show, he was so excited that he accidentally interrupted a conversation that Chevy was in. Rob was a longtime fan and just couldn't contain his joy, but Chevy responded by slapping him in the face and then said, "Can't you see I'm talking to somebody, kid?"
Chevy just hauled off and slapped me across the face so hard. I mean, it was like I saw red.
In at number 9, Ariana Grande. Back in 2014, a man named Dan O'Connor and his daughters Jen and Kelly had actually won a contest sponsored by MTV, VH1, and Pepsi to meet Ariana Grande. The contest was advertised as Pepsi, MTV, and VH1 are giving you the chance to win an amazing trip to Los Angeles to hang with Ariana and watch her perform live at this year's MTV Video Music Awards. Dan wrote about the entire experience in his blog, and one big thing that I noticed was how much Ariana had changed in the period of just 3 years. Apparently he and his daughters had actually met Ariana back in 2011 when she had fame from her Nickelodeon show but still had not peaked into the pop star that we know her as today. Dan described her as the nicest celebrity that he had ever met and displayed so much patience to take photos with his daughters. Unfortunately, this time around it was a disaster. His daughters had to find their own transportation, they were not allowed entry when they arrived, then they waited several hours after the agreed upon time to meet Ariana, and when she finally came out to see them, it got worse. She spent 15 seconds maybe with each contestant winner, took an approved photo after asking them to delete the first few, and then she just left. In a break, Michael Jordan. Best known in Hollywood for his starring role in Space Jam, and a lot of people still love Michael Jordan for his basketball skills, one of his biggest fans was the rapper Chamillionaire, who actually ran into MJ at a party after a charity auction. However, when he approached Jordan for a photo, he said that this NBA legend completely shot him down. In fact, to be more specific, and according to Chamillionaire, Jordan said, "I ain't taking pictures with no N-word." Then when the rapper tried to explain that he was a huge fan and had just purchased a $7,000 commemorative Michael Jordan jersey, Michael just responded with, "I'll tell you what, you pay me $15,000 right now for a jersey from me, and I'll take the picture with you." What a terrible attitude.
At number 7, Butch Hartman. The artist known for creating popular Nickelodeon shows like Fairly Odd Parents, Tough Puppy, and Danny Phantom was exposed last year after Twitter users accused him of plagiarism. Butch Hartman, known for his unique cartoon drawings, had been doing commissioned drawings for fans for the last little while, and when completed, sometimes he would post some of them on social media to show off what he was creating. This was his way of promoting his commissioned services, but last year, one of his commission posts was used to expose the artist for plagiarism. One fan noticed that one of the drawings that he did of a character from the anime Attack on Titan looked a little too familiar until they realized that Butch had plagiarized this drawing. Butch profited off the stolen artwork of another artist and sold this piece for a hefty price. The commission pieces that Butch does sells for upwards of $200, so to find out that someone is profiting so much off stolen work is a huge no-no. This scandal exposed even more dirt on Butch, as it was revealed that this wasn't the first time that Butch has been caught copying other art for commissions. Now that he's been exposed, Butch's credibility as an artist took a very big hit, and it's not looking good for him.
In number 6, Sean Penn. Sean Penn is no stranger to letting his true colors shine bright. In 2009, he assaulted a paparazzi and vandalized his car. He once served 60 days in jail for punching a background actor and had to do 300 hours of community service for kicking another photographer. Then in 2013, while he was at a restaurant in a swanky San Francisco hotel, he witnessed a guy trying to just snap a photo, must be a fan, and he just freaked out when he saw it. Is Sean Penn secretly a vampire that doesn't want his soul removed from taking photos? Like, I don't understand why he gets so angry, and I'll tell you why this is such a big deal. I understand how this could become very annoying after a while, but it still doesn't excuse this kind of disruptive behavior. According to TMZ, he walked over and slammed the man's phone on the table before telling him that he was going to make him eat his phone. Then as he was being escorted out of the restaurant, he yelled to the entire restaurant, "Do we look like zoo animals?" I mean, that is the definition of the word yikes, folks.
We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Avril Lavigne. I absolutely love Avril. Like, I was a huge fan growing up. It's safe to say that my whole tomboy skater phase was thanks to her. Anyways, fans in Brazil were super disappointed after going to Avril's meet and greet in 2014. According to the fans, who paid $400 to meet Avril, they weren't allowed to hug or touch her, and they had to literally stand a good distance away from her. So all the photos from that event look super awkward. Like, they're smiling beside Avril, who's 6 feet apart from them. I mean, good job practicing social distancing before COVID, but yeah, they couldn't hug her or even high-five her. Now, Avril does suffer from Lyme disease, so I'm wondering if she did this because she has a weakened immune system and didn't want to take any chances catching anything. I really don't know, but I can't imagine paying that much to meet a celebrity and not even being able to hug them.
In number 4, Tommy Lee. This is an interesting one because Tommy Lee kind of exposed himself for being an absolute nightmare, but it was his fans that provoked him to rant about not wanting to take photos with his fans. In an open letter posted to the band's Facebook page in June of 2012, Tommy said, "I f***ing love my fans, and you know this. If you asked anyone that knows me really well, they would tell you the same thing. Tommy loves his fans. He lives for this shit. He eats, breathes music 24/7. They'll also probably tell you that he's a down-to-earth, grateful, life-loving dude and a nice guy too. What I have a problem with is taking pictures. I hate it. Irritates the f out of me when people say, you owe it to your fans, they put you where you are, etc, etc. I certainly don't owe anybody anything. When I bought all my Led Zeppelin records and concert tickets, I didn't say, one day these f***ers are gonna owe me a picture. It's the least they can do for me. WTF, people, you don't admire something so that it can give back, you just cherish it. And to those who say, you should be grateful that people want to take your picture, maybe one day they won't want it. That day can't come soon enough. By the way, I'm not here to take pictures with you, I'm here to entertain you. I mean, it sounds like Tommy Lee just needs to take a nap, right? That just sounds like somebody who needs a nap. Just a quick power nap. And then that Facebook post would have never happened.
At number 3, Anthony Mackie. Marvel actor Anthony Mackie, known for his role as a Falcon in the MCU, faced some internet backlash last year after an old video had resurfaced. The video in question was a clip from an old Wendy Williams interview where he was heard making sexist remarks, saying that a woman's role was to, quote, make daddy a sandwich. During the interview, Anthony and Wendy were having a conversation about gender roles in a relationship, and Anthony's responses were exposed. Anthony also went on to defend this mentality of women serving their partners, giving an example saying, quote, so you better believe it. So you make daddy a sandwich. If I'm outside cutting the grass, bring daddy some lemonade. It's hot outside and I'm cutting all this grass. End quote. A lot of fans were taken aback by the actor's comments, calling them sexist and misogynistic, and resulted in canceling the actor on social media. This cancellation didn't really stick, as he since bounced back with the popularity coming from the Disney Plus series Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but people still exposed him, and he still faced quite a bit of backlash because of it.
In at number 2, Stephen Morrissey. A few years before the Smiths became a band, Morrissey sent a very nasty message in response to a fan's ad in Sounds magazine in 1980. See, a man named Robert Mackey from Scotland had submitted a letter to Morrissey. The 21-year-old star then replied with his own letter that said, Dear Pearson, so nice to know there's another soul out there, even if it is Glasgow. Does being Scottish bother you? Manchester is a lovely little place if you happen to be a bedridden deaf mute. I'm unhappy, hope you're unhappy too. In poverty, Stephen. Look, this is just a prime example of what I have said on this channel many times. When you recognize your own pain, you can see it more clearly in others. The fact that Morrissey says, I'm unhappy, hope you're unhappy too, just makes it as clear as day that he was absolutely miserable, and that's why this poor fan got a miserable response. Last but certainly not least, our number 1 spot, Justin Bieber.
I got the goddamn way, man. Damn.
Yes, that was Justin Bieber running over a photographer in his exotic car, showing zero regard for human life. On top of that heinous video, the star has also been known to spit on people he doesn't like, which sometimes includes his own fans. While at a hotel in Toronto with some friends, Justin took to his balcony where hundreds of people were desperately waiting outside to see a glimpse of the star, although he only emerged to hawk a loogie down towards them. After the disgusting act, the star seemed to be pleased with himself, turning to his group of admiring friends to laugh even. His impressed friends then joined in as they all crowded around and took a selfie on his phone just to remember the occasion, I guess.
And at number 10, Shia LaBeouf. Late 2020, FKA Twigs exposed that she endured a toxic and abusive relationship with Shia LaBeouf. She later decided to sue him for his actions, unearthing tons of stories where LaBeouf was manipulative, reckless, and put her life in danger. At the time, LaBeouf was dating Margaret Qualley. However, following the terrible allegations, which LaBeouf later admitted to and apologized, Qualley ended their relationship. Following the allegations by FKA Twigs, other people came out with their stories of manipulation and toxic behavior by LaBeouf, like Sia, who claimed that he pushed her into an adulterous relationship with him. And at number 9, Michael Rappaport. Michael Rappaport was involved in a long and nasty feud with Barstool Sports after he was fired from the company when an old tweet trashing it resurfaced. The tweet read, quote, if you call yourself a stoolie for real, you've already lost in life. Before the firing, Rappaport had a podcast with Barstool, but he was hoping they would help him get a show after on SiriusXM. But after he was promptly fired, the nasty back and forth between him and Barstool founder Dave Portnoy was swift, with both men throwing digs each other's way. Barstool quickly came out with merch of Rappaport's face with a clown on it, also with a red dot under his lip because he had some infamous red carpet photos with a red sore on his lip. Rappaport later sued for defamation, and after the long legal battle, Barstool ended up winning, exposing that even though he talked trash about them, he couldn't handle it when they did it back to him. And at number 8, Alex Rodriguez. Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez recently announced that they were breaking up. which honestly broke my heart. I thought they were a really good couple. Saying in a statement, quote, "We will continue to work together and support each other on our shared business and projects. We wish the best for each other and one another's children." But there was a lot of drama involved in the breakup. Apparently what led to the breakup were allegations from a reality star that he had slid into her DMs. Southern Charm star Madison LaCroix was caught up in the couple's drama when it was revealed on her Bravo series reunion episode that she had been FaceTiming with an unnamed famous baseball player, who turned out to be A-Rod. With her saying about the conversation with A-Rod, quote, "He contacted me, and yes, we DM'd, but other than that, there was nothing. I've never seen him or touched him." Telling Page Six later, quote, "He's never physically cheated on his fiancée with me," saying they had only, quote, "spoken on the phone, but had never been physical, never had any kind of anything, just an acquaintance." However, it seemed that J-Lo probably didn't believe that, and that caused their split. In at number 7, Gina Carano. Gina Carano's controversial political views were exposed this year, and she was fired because of it. She was fired after she shared a controversial Instagram story where she compared being conservative now to being Jewish in the Second World War. The post was an attempt to compare the events of the Second World War to cancel culture. Carano ended up taking the picture down, but the backlash had already begun. She was quickly fired from The Mandalorian and the Star Wars universe, as well as being dropped by her agency, United Talent Agency. An insider claimed that the production company had been looking for a reason to fire Carano after she became too controversial to handle, and that post was apparently the last straw. And at number 6, Scott Rudin. Producer Scott Rudin was exposed by one of Broadway's top Latina actresses when Karen Olivio revealed that she will not be returning to the hit musical Moulin Rouge the Musical post-COVID. The reason she will not be returning was because of Scott Rudin. Olivia, who has been nominated for a Tony for her performance in that musical, posted a 5-minute Instagram video explaining her decision to not come back to the show. Saying in an Instagram video, quote, "I don't need to be on stage. I need to be out here. People are more important than your pocketbook. That's it. That's all that needs to be said from here on out. I value humanity more. I want a theater industry that matches my integrity." Olivia went on to discuss recent reports that exposed Rubin for violent behavior towards staff members. And thankfully, there are people speaking up about this negative behavior. Halfway at number 5, Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato was exposed after she tried to cancel a small business because she didn't like the products that they were selling. Demi decided to grab some frozen yogurt from a popular froyo place in LA called The Big Chill. But she wasn't happy with what she saw while in the shop and shared her disdain with her over 100 million Instagram followers, writing on her story that she didn't like how the establishment had so many sugar-free diet foods near the counter, adding that they were diet culture vultures. This caused an online feud between Demi and the shop. The shop later defended themselves by saying that they were just selling products for their broad customer base, which includes diabetics, celiac disease, and vegans. The general consensus around this whole event was that Demi was just being an entitled Karen. Demi ended up somewhat apologizing for the incident later though. And at number 4, Kevin Guthrie. Scottish actor Kevin Guthrie was just found guilty of assaulting a woman at a flat in Glasgow. The actor denied these charges and claimed that he was helping the woman. But over the course of the investigation, the woman claimed that he actually drugged her and used her drunken state to take advantage of her. It was revealed that his DNA was found on her underwear, and the sheriff determined that he had taken advantage of the woman while she was in a, quote, vulnerable position. As of now, we don't know much more, and his sentence will be decided next month, but that is just so gross and disgusting. Happy to see justice be served there. And at number 3, Simon Cowell. The legendary American Idol host is known for turning everyday singers into stars, but his label was recently exposed for being toxic towards their artist. John and Edward Grimes, known as the music world as Jedward, went on a tweeting spree recently as they spilled the beans on Simon Cowell and his record label Psycho, with the pair saying that Simon and his label have been taking advantage of artists for years. We were also reminded that other artists like Cher Lloyd and Rebecca Ferguson spoke out about the bad conditions that they had worked under while on contract. In their tweets, Jedward called One Direction survivors because of what they had endured. And at number 2, Kartik Aaryan. Indian actor Kartik Aaryan has just been dropped from a film after complaining about the script. He is now being replaced in a film that was almost halfway completed. Apparently, they started filming the movie Dostana 2 in 2019, completing 20 days of filming. But almost a year and a half later, when they tried to complete the film in 2021, Aaryan is now expressing creative differences over the script. A source close to the matter stated, quote, "It has never happened in the history of Dharma Productions that an actor has shot a film for a while and then walked out alleging creative issues." Yeah, definitely very, very strange to walk out after already halfway completing a movie. Very weird. And finally, number 1, Dan Levy. Dan Levy, star of Schitt's Creek, opened up about how he was bullied as a preteen for being different when he was not out as being gay. His mother made a point to clap back at the kids who were mean to Dan at camp before his SNL hosting gig, with her writing on Twitter, quote, "This goes out to the bully punks at Camp WTF who made life miserable for a certain cabin mate back in the summer of '96, just because he was different." Adding, quote, "Well, after all these years, I have just 7 words to say to you. Live from New York, it's Saturday night." Levy retweeted his mom with a simple caption, "Moms." Dan opened up more about his childhood in an interview with Bustle, saying, quote, "I think that came from a deep-rooted fear of knowing that I was gay and not being able to be free. By the time I got to high school, when your brain is starting to catch up with your physical impulses, it led to a very confusing time. Because on the one hand, you're now being introduced to things like self-awareness and anxiety. At the same time, you're becoming more and more savvy when it comes to hiding it."
Starting off this countdown, we have Tobey Maguire. Haven't heard much about him lately, I wonder what he's up to. But anyways, back in 2008, Tobey was in Paris headed back to his hotel when a fan walking beside him held out his camera to take a photo with Tobey. Well, he did not like this because he ended up slapping the camera right out of his fan's hand. Thankfully, a different fan got it on tape. First off, that's just rude. Second, that's so embarrassing for the fan. Now, I understand that celebrities are constantly being followed by the paparazzi or fans, so maybe he was just agitated, or maybe he needed to get back to his hotel ASAP. Like maybe he was just tired, or he needed to, go to the bathroom. Who knows? But there are better ways he could have handled this. Slapping a fan's camera to the ground is not one of them. In our 9th spot, we have Lea Michele. If you have seen my previous video, then you know just how rude Lea Michele can be. Earlier this year, a former Glee cast member exposed Lea Michele for being rude to her, and then several other people came forward with similar bad experiences with Lea. Even fans came forward saying that when they met her, she acted disrespectful towards them. A fan tweeted, and I quote, "I met Lea Michele once and I told her that I was such a huge fan. And I was obviously pretty flamboyant at the time because I was excited, and she responded, 'Yeah, all the gays watch our show, nothing special,' and then walked away. I was literally so confused, but I'm so glad people are waking up to how rude she is." Are you kidding me? How could she be that rude to her fans? I just don't get it. In our 8th spot, we have Rachel Ray. On television, Rachel Ray is bubbly and seems like a warm and friendly person. But according to a number of fans, she is quite the opposite. One fan attending a taping of her cooking show said that during the taping, Rachel would be rude to her staff, was annoyed with the audience, and was acting ungrateful. Another fan stayed outside of the filming location for the show waiting for Rachel to come out. According to the fan, and I quote, "When Rachel came out to greet the audience, she was cold, even seemingly annoyed that she had to do the show. She complained, she rolled her eyes, and was not at all the perky, spunky personality we've come to know on her show." There you have it, exposed.
In at number 7, Christina Aguilera. Some people may not remember this, but back in 2011, Christina Aguilera was judging on The Voice and for whatever reason could not contain herself. She asked country singer Patrick Thomas, who was 20 at the time, to take his pants off 3 times. Apparently she doesn't get any better when her fans are famous either. Actress Valerie Bertinelli said that she once approached Aguilera to say that she thought she was a beautiful singer, to which Christina paid no attention to and replied with, "Yeah, whatever." And to make matters worse, she completely trashed Lady Gaga back in 2008. As reported by the LA Times, she was asked about the allegations of her stealing Gaga's image while promoting Bionic. In response, she said, "You know, that's funny that you mentioned that. This person was just brought to my attention not too long ago. I'm not quite sure who this person is, to be honest. I don't know if it is a man or a woman, I just wasn't sure. I really don't spend any time on the internet, so I guess I live a little under a rock in that respect." A little bit, Christina. Just a tad.
In our 6th spot, we have Chevy Chase, who apparently has a bad reputation on sets. It's been said that he is difficult to work with and disrespectful to his co-workers. So it's not that shocking that he's also rude to his fans. In fact, he slapped one of his fans super hard when he first met them. The fan in question being actor and comedian Rob Hubel. He was so excited to meet Chevy, but he ended up slapping him so hard that he said he saw red. He then tried to make a joke out of it saying, "Can't you see I'm talking to somebody, kid?" Now some people have defended him saying like, oh, he's just joking around, and Rob hasn't looked too much into it. But others find that extremely wild. Like imagine that, slapping a dude you don't even know right across the face and then being like, haha, just kidding, got ya.
At number 5, Lil Nas X. Rapper Lil Nas X was in the news a lot last year because of the backlash he was facing from his music video for his song Montero, as well as his quote, devil shoes. A lot of people had been criticizing him for his use of satanic imagery, saying that his content was inappropriate. While on the other side of this drama, Lil Nas X was exposed for his content, but not because of his imagery for being offensive to people, but for having been copied from another artist. A Twitter user shared a side-by-side comparison of Nas's Montero music video to FKA Twig's video for her song Cellophane. Both had similar imagery of heaven and hell, as well as the artist sliding down and dancing on a pole, and so he faced backlash for having copied Twigs. Lil Nas X addressed the controversy on his social media, issuing an apology to those affected, saying that he wasn't aware of the similarities and that he has nothing but love and respect for FKA Twigs. The two artists made up and acknowledged everyone involved in the making of both Montero and Cellophane music videos, but Nas's exposure was just another setback that he had to deal with involving this content.
And our 4th spot we have Rami Malek. First off, he's an amazing actor, so props to him. But there is one very, very awkward fan encounter. I'm like 99.9% sure that you all know what I'm talking about and have seen this video. I mean, it went viral after a fan posted it on Twitter. In this video, a fan asks Malek if he could say hi to her friends. He says, no, but we can take a photo. Then he realizes that the whole time he was being recorded, and it's hella awkward.
Can you say hi to my friends?
No, but we can take a picture.
Oh, sorry.
Is that alright?
Yep. Thank you.
Well, that's a video.
This is just another very cringy fan celebrity encounter. So like I said, this video went viral because of how fast Malek shut the fan down. In the end, he did apologize and said, and I quote, "I am who I am and people can interpret that how they want, but I love the fans. I wouldn't be here without my fans, and I try to take as much time as possible. Sometimes when you've been traveling around the earth a couple times, you try to just be protective of your time as a human being, and I'm finding it quite funny, and I think maybe I'll have some fun with it on Ellen tomorrow." He told another outlet, and I quote, "I am happy to take photos with anyone, I just want to be aware of what people are doing in the moment. When someone films you automatically, it's a bit intrusive." And honestly, I totally get that, but the video is undeniably awkward.
In at number 3, Martha Stewart. Reddit is always a nice place to read about honest accounts of meeting celebrities, and a user named Grateful Stickers posted this story and said, "After waiting in line, my mother was refused an extra autograph, and she also wouldn't make out the one promised autograph to anyone but the person who was getting it. Even after explaining it was for her son, Martha refused. I could maybe understand if it was after signing 5,000 autographs or even 500, but it was a small event. That's only a small part of her being a bitch." At the very end of the event, as people were leaving, Martha Stewart was overheard talking to her mother, who happened to be with her. Martha's mom said, "What should we do with all these floral arrangements?" To which Martha replied, "We take them or throw them out. These common people don't deserve them, far too expensive, and they wouldn't appreciate their beauty." Yep, she said common people. Oh, Martha Stewart.
In our 2nd spot today, we have Adam Levine. According to a number of fans, Adam Levine, lead singer of Maroon 5, treats his fans pretty awful. Apparently he has a habit of showing up late to his own concerts and performances, and one time he even got mad at a crowd when they were just singing along to his songs. I mean, it's a concert, they're going to sing along. Nobody just stands silent and still at concerts. But that's not even the worst part. One fan said that one time she met Adam Levine and asked for his autograph. His response was, and I quote, "I don't give autographs to ugly chicks." That is absolutely disgusting. I can't believe it. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Sean Penn. So we got Tobey Maguire, who slammed a fan's camera to the floor, and now we have Sean Penn, who grabbed a fan's phone and smashed it to the ground. So back in 2013, Sean was in a fancy hotel in San Francisco when a fan took a picture of him on his phone, but the fan didn't realize that the flash was on. So Sean realized that someone took a photo of him and he flipped out. He then grabbed the fan's phone and slammed it to the ground. He then proceeded to yell at the fan, telling him to get out, and if he didn't, he would make the fan eat his phone. I mean, Sean has been known to come after paparazzi. Like, there's videos of him physically kicking them. But in this case, it was just a fan who probably is no longer a fan.
In at number 10, Zac Efron. After Zac Efron appeared on a Facebook Watch event for Bill Nye's Earth Day musical, The internet was set ablaze with rumors that he had gotten cosmetic surgery to change his face. The lower half of the actor's face looked much more prominent, including his jaw and lips, which both looked to be fuller. Many Twitter users speculated that Efron might have gotten cosmetic surgery, like bad Botox or fillers. One TikTok doctor even thought Efron could have recently gotten his wisdom teeth removed. Zac hasn't commented on the situation, but one of his best friends recently spoke out and denied the rumors of plastic surgery. In at number 9, Ben Affleck. Although I had Ben Affleck in this last one, some recent news has come out that I just had to include in this one too. Influencer Naveen J has just gone viral on TikTok, sharing her story of how Ben Affleck tried to pursue her. In the viral TikTok video, Naveen shared a clip of herself looking upset, writing, quote, "Thinking of the time I matched with Ben Affleck on Raya and thought it was fake, so I unmatched him and he sent me a video on Instagram." She then cut to this Instagram video where Affleck said, quote, "Naveen, why did you unmatch me? It's me." And this story is just so insane on so many levels. Like, I can't believe Ben Affleck would send a video like that. Definitely, a little embarrassing for him, but obviously a huge compliment as well to her. And at number 8, Will Smith. Will Smith just exposed himself in a new Instagram post. The photo, which was posted on May 3rd, is captioned, quote, "I'm gonna be real with y'all, I'm in the worst shape of my life." The picture shows Smith in black shorts and an unzipped hoodie. This version of Will is a lot different than the hunk that we're used to seeing on screen. But the comments of that picture were quickly flooded with support, with people thanking him for the honesty and saying that he still looks in pretty good shape. The post currently has over 6 million likes, and honestly, I'm just so happy that he's able to poke fun at himself like this. In at number 7, Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck was exposed for being sour after his breakup with Ana de Armas. After the couple announced that they were splitting, a photographer caught 2 of Affleck's gardeners bringing a life-size cutout of de Armas out of his house and into his garbage can. The cutout of the actress was part of a prank Affleck's children played on their dad in June. And honestly, I can totally understand why he wanted the cutout taken out of his house. I mean, after a breakup, you just want to cleanse. But he's got to learn to be a little more slick about doing stuff like that. I mean, unless this was somewhat of a ploy to maybe get her attention. I mean, we'll never know. Anna and Ben met while playing husband and wife on the movie Deep Water, which started filming in late 2019, and they dated for about a year before splitting. In at number 6, Khloe Kardashian. Khloe Kardashian was recently exposed by an Instagram model who claims to have hooked up with Tristan Thompson while he was still with Khloe. Sydney Chase exposed the cheating on the No Jumper podcast and gave intimate details to prove that she had hooked up with Tristan. After the rumor mill started churning, it looked like Khloe actually DM'd Sydney to get the full story on the cheating allegations. Sydney posted a screenshot for proof of this, where it shows an Instagram message from Khloe saying, quote, "Hey Sydney, this is Khloe." Chase scrubbed out the rest of the message with white paint. In another message, Khloe also wrote, quote, "I would appreciate it if our conversation can remain confidential," which was the case because Sydney didn't share any more details. And to me, it looks like Khloe wants more details on the situation so she can see if Tristan is lying about his side of the story, which I assume is definitely different than Sydney's. Halfway at number 5, Hilaria Baldwin. 2021 started off with maybe the strangest scandal ever surrounding Hilaria Baldwin's background. After a long string of events, it was revealed that Hilaria Baldwin is not actually Spanish like she claims. And in fact, her name isn't even Hilaria, it's just Hillary. And it seems she put on this fake Spanish persona to be more interesting and unique in the media. It was also revealed that her Spanish accent is most definitely a lie too. As Twitter began searching for the truth, it emerged that she was in fact actually born and raised as Hillary, not Hilaria, in Massachusetts. And her roots are American for many generations back. But in an interview, she claimed she moved here from Spain to go to NYU. In response to all the backlash, Hilaria addressed the situation saying she was raised with 2 cultures, but she never actually commented on why she lied. In at number 4, Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg is another celebrity that exposed themselves on their own Instagram. Wahlberg exposed a body transformation that he partook in for the upcoming film Father Stu, after revealing that he was planning to put on 30 pounds in 6 weeks on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show. Last month, he posted a picture of the progress. On the left was a picture of his incredibly fit body, and on the right is a current picture of him, with the caption, quote, "From this 3 weeks ago to this now. Thanks to Chef Lawrence D. Cooking." During his interview with Kimmel, he said, quote, "I want to go to bakeries, I want to go to Denny's, I want to get pancakes, I want to get everything I can possibly get my hands on." This is a whole lot different from his usually very strict regimen. and he revealed on Instagram in 2018 that he usually wakes up at 2:30 a.m. and does a workout from 3:40 a.m. to 5:15 a.m. I literally just can't even comprehend that. And at number 3, Macaulay Culkin. Home Alone star Macaulay Culkin is getting some heat after some clips from an old interview resurfaced. Culkin just welcomed his first child with his partner Brenda Song. The boy is named Dakota Song Culkin, named after Culkin's late sister who died at age 29 after she was hit by a car. And obviously everyone is overjoyed for the happy couple. However, an old interview clip is getting some backlash. In the interview, Culkin said that he is excited to have children with Song, adding, quote, "I'm going to have some pretty babies. She's Asian, so I'm going to have tiny little Asian babies. It's going to be adorable, a bunch of Sean Lennons running around the house. That's what I'm looking for," he told People. Sean Lennon is of course referring to John Lennon and Yoko Ono's son. Taiwanese American culture writer Jeff Yang tweeted out, quote, "Congrats, I guess," while another Twitter user said, quote, "We all look like Sean Lennon, I guess." Culkin does not address the comments. In at number 2, Erika Jayne. Erika Jayne and her husband Tom Girardi were beloved cast members of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills until Erika filed for divorce and Tom got arrested for fraud, which Erika is now getting dragged into. Because of all this, the couple is now getting slammed with lawsuits. One Twitter thread leaked proving that Tom and Erika were kicked out of their home after they failed to pay property taxes. This is most likely linked to Tom's assets being frozen after he received an onslaught of lawsuits. The couple were first hit with a class action lawsuit over settlement funds that were meant to go toward the families of the Lion Air Flight 610. Tom has also been sued by Wells Fargo Bank for fraud and by his former law firm partner Robert Kesey for bad business dealings. And I'm just hoping that at least some of these juicy details will be revealed on the upcoming season of the show. And finally at number 1, Jake Paul. Jake Paul was just accused of inappropriate conduct by TikToker Justine Paradise. The former Disney Channel actor was preparing for his Ben Askren fight when Justine released a 20-minute video to her YouTube channel saying the encounter had happened at his mansion. Apparently they were hanging out and he asked her if she wanted to go to his room. And even though she felt it implied that he wanted to maybe hook up with her, she thought he would respect her boundaries. But he did not, and apparently forced intimate acts on her, with her saying that he never asked for consent. In response to the allegations, Jake's lawyers denied the allegations and said that they were aggressively pursuing her legally for the claims. However, she said later that she was never served any lawsuits. And I'm just hoping that the truth of this is all determined in court.